Hi, I'm James and welcome back to our CompTIA A+ course. In the previous lesson, we looked at read-only memory and how a computer starts up. Now we're moving on to one of the most important components that affect everyday performance, RAM, or random access memory. RAM is the working memory of a computer. It temporarily stores the data and instructions on that the CPU needs while the system is running, making it essential for speed, multitasking, and overall system responsiveness. In this video, we're continuing with the memory module B, Random Access Memory, where we'll explore how RAM works, how to work with it in real-world scenarios. In this topic is part of the CompTIA A+, developed by CompTIA, essential knowledge for anyone preparing for a career in IT support. In this lesson, we'll be looking at defining RAM and the DIMM memory module type, compare and contrast various RAM features, identify and describe the difference between DDR versions, installing RAM correctly and safely, and troubleshooting common memory issues. By understanding these concepts, you'll be able to improve system performance, upgrade memory, and diagnose problems related to RAM. Let's get started by taking a closer look at what RAM is and how it works inside a computer system. Random access memory, or RAM, is a temporary storage space used by the operating system and applications. It allows data to be passed to the CPU for processing. RAM can be accessed by the CPU much faster than data stored on a hard disk or a solid-state drive. RAM is considered volatile memory. It means its contents are not retained when the computer is powered down. RAM connects to the memory controller, which may be located in the North Bridge chip or integrated directly into the CPU. The memory bus provides the electrical pathways that allow data, addresses, and control signals to travel between the CPU and the RAM. The address bus specifies the memory location from which the CPU retrieves or writes data. The control bus manages operations such as clock signal and read and write commands. RAM connects to the motherboard using memory modules. There are three common modules: SIM, DIMM, SODIMM. The memory slots on your motherboard determine which module type you can install. Now, a single inline memory module, or a SIM, is a 32-bit module with memory chips on one side of the board. SIMs are found only in very old computers. They were often installed in matched pairs. DIMM, or dual inline memory module, is a 64-bit module. It may have memory chips on one or both sides. Depending on the system, DIMMs can be installed individually, in pairs, or in larger sets. Most desktop computers use DIMMs. Small outline dual inline memory module, or SODIMM, is a smaller version of a DIMM. It is commonly used in laptops and small form factor computers. A SODIMM functions like a DIMM, but is approximately half the size. When evaluating RAM modules for your computer, you must consider more than just the form factor. Other important features include buffering, parity, ECC, clock speed, channels, and virtual memory. Now, buffered DIMM contains additional circuits that temporarily hold data and manage electrical signals before information is passed between RAM and the memory controller. They are commonly used in server-class motherboards. Buffered DIMM are more expensive than unbuffered DIMMs and typically cannot be used on standard desktop motherboards. Regular non-parity memory stores 8 bits for each byte of data. Parity memory includes an extra parity bit used to verify that the data was written correctly. Parity memory costs more and requires motherboard support. It is considered older technology and has largely been replaced by ECC memory. Error correcting code, or ECC memory, is an advanced version of parity memory. It uses algorithms to detect and correct single-bit errors and identify multi-bit errors. ECC improves reliability, especially in servers and mission-critical systems. However, ECC memory can cause a slight performance decrease due to the additional processing required. Now, like a CPU, RAM operates at a specific clock speed. In general, higher clock speeds provide better performance. However, other factors such as memory latency also affect performance. If the motherboard supports it, RAM can be overclocked, but this may reduce system stability. DIMMs and SODIMMs transfer 64 bits of data at a time. In a single channel configuration, the motherboard uses one 64-bit memory bus. In a dual channel configuration, two RAM modules are installed, creating a 128-bit memory bus and improving performance. Triple channel systems uses 192-bit, quad channel systems uses 256-bit bus. For dual, triple or quad channel memory to function properly, the RAM modules must be installed in matching pairs or sets. Many motherboards use color-coded slots to show where modules should be installed. Always consult the motherboard documentation for correct installation. Virtual memory allows the operating system to use hard disk space as temporary RAM. It supplements physical RAM installed on the motherboard. When a program runs, it may not need all of the data in RAM at once. The operating system copies inactive memory data to disk, a process called paging or swapping. Memory is divided in fixed size blocks called pages. When needed, data is copied back from disk into RAM. The translation of virtual addresses into real memory addresses is called mapping. While virtual memory extends available memory, it is much slower than physical RAM because it relies on disk storage. Double data rate or DDR memory is based on synchronous dynamic random access memory, also known as SDRAM. Now, SDRAM synchronizes with the system bus clock speed. DDR memory transfers data on both the rising and the falling edge of the clock signal. This allows DDR to process two pieces of data per clock cycle. SDRAM transfers data only once per clock cycle. Running at the same clock speed, DDR processes twice the amount of data compared to SD. Clock speeds are measured in megahertz. There are multiple DDR versions. We've got DDR, DDR2, DDR3, 4, and DDR5. The main difference between these versions include transfer rate and maximum capacity per module. Now, transfer rate is measured in megabytes per second or gigabytes per second. Now, as DDR generations increase, both bus speeds and transfer rates improve significantly. Now, for example, DDR4 3200 delivers up to 25.6 gigabytes per second. DDR5 ranges approximately from 38.4 up to 67.2 gigabytes per second, depending on the configuration. The megahertz rating in DDR memory can be misleading. Now, DDR transfers data twice per clock cycle. Now, this means the I/O bus speed is half of the effective memory transfer speed. DDR versions are not physically interchangeable. DDR modules have 184 pins. DDR2 and 3 both have 240 pins, but the notch placement is different. DDR4 has 288 pins and features a slightly curved contact edge to help prevent installation damage. DDR5 also 288 pins, but has an internal architectural improvements. Each DDR generation operates at a different voltage. DDR operates at 2.5 volts, DDR2 operates at 1.8 or 1.9 volts. DDR3 operates at 1.35, 1.5 or 1.65 volts. DDR4 operating at 1.2 or 1.35 volts. DDR5 operates at 1.1 volts. Lower voltage improves energy efficiency and reduce heat output. DDR5 memory can scale to data rates of 8.4 gigatransfers per second. DDR5 reduces the voltage from 1.2 to 1.5 volts. Now, unlike previous generations, DDR5 moves voltage regulation from the motherboard onto the memory module itself. DDR5 modules include a power management integrated circuit or a PMIC, which allows finer control of system power loading. Now, when selecting RAM, you must determine which memory type, speed and capacity your motherboard and CPU support. If your memory controller supports DDR4 2400 and you install DDR4 3200, you will not gain the extra speed. Always verify compatibility with your motherboard documentation, BIOS firmware, and operating system. Before physically installing RAM, you must determine the type of RAM your motherboard supports. Verify that or what is already installed, including capacity and configuration. Purchase compatible RAM modules in the correct quantity, or once you have the correct RAM, you can begin installation.
Before installing physical RAM in your machine, you must determine what RAM your motherboard supports. Verify what is already installed, the capacity and the configuration. Purchase compatible RAM in the correct quantity. Once you have the correct RAM, you can begin the installation. Step 1. Power down the system. Step 2. Disconnect all cables, starting with the power cable. Step 3. Open the chassis. Ooh, this is a big guy. Step 4. Open the memory arm slots. Step 5. Insert the memory modules, aligning the notches on the cards with the notches on the board. Step 6. Ensure the locking arms are locked. You should hear an audible click. Step 7. Close the chassis. Step 8. Reconnect all of the cables. Step 9. Power up your system and verify that the newly installed memory is reflecting. You can do this either by entering the BIOS or by using the Task Manager.
If your computer shows certain symptoms, it may have a memory problem. However, similar symptoms can also be caused by the motherboard, power supply, or software issues. It makes proper troubleshooting important. The system fails to boot. You may hear a system beep code related to memory. Beep codes often indicate hardware problems during post. The system hangs or freezes during operation. This can happen randomly or during specific tasks. Illegal operation errors or fatal exception errors may occur. Now, these errors are often caused by corrupted data in memory. You may also experience a blue screen of death, or now the black screen of death. On other systems, you may see a kernel panic error. These indicate serious system level failures, often related to a hardware instability. The computer may reboot randomly with or without an operating system error message. The operating system may report a memory problem. This can occur during startup diagnostics or while running a memory test. Now, many of these systems or symptoms can also be caused by the motherboard fault, a power supply instability, overheating, or even software corruption. Always follow a structured troubleshooting process before replacing RAM. If you're experiencing memory-related symptoms after installing new RAM, follow a structured troubleshooting process. First, verify that the modules are seated correctly. Remove and reinstall the new memory modules. Ensure each module sits evenly in the slot at the same height as the others installed. Confirm that the support arms lock into place. If a support arm does not lock, the module is not properly seated. Make sure the modules are installed in the correct memory slot. Your motherboard documentation may specify valid memory configurations for single, dual, or quad channel setups. Try removing the new memory, reinstalling the original memory. If the problem disappears with the old memory, the issue may be related to compatibility or configuration. Verify that you purchased the correct memory type for your motherboard. Check memory clock speeds in the BIOS to ensure compatibility. Visit the motherboard manufacturer's website to check the BIOS updates. You may need to update the BIOS to support new memory modules. Always confirm memory type, speed, compatibility limits, and BIOS support before installing new RAM. This prevents unnecessary troubleshooting and system instability. If you have not installed new memory, or if problems continue with existing memory, the issue may not be the RAM itself. Possible causes include a failing power supply, overheating, or a defective memory module. Verify that the power supply is functioning properly. An underpowered, failing PSU can cause memory-related errors. Ensure the system is not overheating. High temperatures can cause instability and memory errors. Remove the memory module. Clean the edge connectors using a soft cloth or contact cleaner. Use compressed air or a computer vacuum to remove dust and debris from the memory slots. Reinsert the clean modules carefully. Test memory modules one at a time. Replace each module temporarily with one you know is working properly. This helps isolate a faulty module. If your BIOS UEFI include a hardware diagnostic tool, run the memory check feature. This can identify memory errors during startup. Run a third-party diagnostic program to check for memory errors. Memtest 86 is a popular free tool that runs from bootable media. If test reports a bad memory module, replace it immediately. Faulty RAM can cause data corruption and system instability. And that brings us to the end of our lesson on random access memory. Understanding how RAM works, the different types available, and how to install and troubleshoot memory is essential for improving system performance resolving common issues in a computer system. These concepts are part of the CompTIA A+, developed by CompTIA, and they are key skills for both the exam and real-world IT support. Take some time to review the different RAM types, DDR versions and troubleshooting steps so you feel confident working with memory in any system. In the next chapter, we'll move on to computer expansion, where we will cover identifying various expansion interfaces, installing configuration, troubleshooting expansion cards, identifying and troubleshooting issues with various cables and connectors. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing so you don't miss the rest of the lessons in our complete A+ course. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.